Hi friends, in today's video we're adding a new ornament, vibrato, or I should say vibrato. Oh dear, sorry about that. We'll talk about how to play this ornament and when to use it. We're adding one ornament at a time to our ornament toolkit. And the reason we're doing that is that we each need time to practice and experiment with each ornament so that we become quite familiar with them, rather than just dumping them all on our head at one time. Remember that ornaments create separation between notes. They are used to highlight a tune's rhythm or to highlight transitions within a tune. They're used to underline the emotion of a tune and also are a great way for us to personalize a tune. Vibrato marries really well with the low whistle because it's such a resonant sound to the whistle, and the vibrato just adds almost to the mystery of some of the songs. So how do we play vibrato? Well, as you play a note, I'm going to cover the top three. That is the G. As you play a note, rhythmically bounce the finger 2 notes down over the tone hole there, or you can even tap the tone hole. That will create the vibrato. And I was actually even touching the instrument in that instance. Make sure, though, that the rhythm of the vibrato that you're playing is in agreement with the rhythm of the tune. It's carrying the tune. It's expressing the tune. So you don't want the rhythm of your vibrato to be in disagreement with the tune. Now, some people will use 2 fingers, and that's great. It is possible to play 1 finger down, but that's a little bit more challenging because if you bounce off of the tone hole or get too close to it, you're going to play more of a trill. So some people will gently tap the edge of the tone hole if they're going 1 note down. You can see why we need to practice that. And the reason that's important, because you might like it. Also, if you're playing the vibrato on the E, you have to bounce that way. So that's important to do. In the video where we introduced the second octave, we talked about how the instrument creates sound by the flow of air through the whistle. You can go back and watch that if you're more interested in it. And with the notes, what you're doing is, if I'm holding down those top 3 fingers for the G, then if I am bouncing off of the F sharp, let's go down to the second hole down, the E, then what I'm doing is I'm disrupting the air that flows out enough to change the tone emanating from the instrument. That's it. That's how you play vibrato on your instrument. Consistency is the key, though. I prefer that gentle, thoughtful vibrato because I'm personally, at least at the minute, imagining vibrato as something I'll do in more of a slow and thoughtful tune. Now, when do we play vibrato? Well, first, by nature of the way it's played, you would play vibrato on a note that's sustained in length. You can't be flying your way through a jig or a reel and land vibrato in the middle of that. As you're dashing around and learning to dash through a tune, it has to be something slower enough. So it has to be just a slower, like a slow air, for example, would be a good example. Um, I've been practicing on Inishir, and I'm practicing with the intent of recording it at some point because I think that putting that challenge before myself will help me learn it better. But as I come toward the end of the tune, just quickly like that, and I did one thing though in there on that low D. I used another type of vibrato that is really kind of frowned upon from everything I know, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So if you're playing the E and you want a vibrato there, like I said, you're going to have to learn to bounce off the edge. If you bounce off the note hole itself, I'll show you both of these, it'll turn into a trill. That's not really vibrato. Now if I come to the edge of the tone hole, and it's a little harder, and you have to learn to soften that up and get less of the tone, which is why I like coming 2 tone holes down from the note I'm playing, because it softens the vibrato more. So you're going to play vibrato when you're at a sustained note and you want to express it in some way, and another ornament doesn't seem to do the trick, and just playing the note straight sustained doesn't feel quite right. That's when to play it. Now, I have also found that I really learn when to play it by watching people as they play some of these songs on their whistles, the more professionals. Now, you may be thinking, there are other ways to play vibrato. Sure there are, because I started off being really silly at the start by using vibrato in my voice, and that's a way to play vibrato as well. You can actually just fluctuate the airflow coming out by using your throat or your diaphragm. A lot of traditional players are not fans of that, and that's great because I think the finger vibrato is a lot more expressive, but if you need a vibrato on a D, you're going to have to do something. The other thing some people do is this. Just shake your instrument back and forth. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I found that as a recommendation on more than one reputable website, and I'm here to give you what I find. Let me do the research for you and tell you what we're finding. So play some slow airs and just go wild with vibrato and get used to this. Get used to when it feels right and when it doesn't. I've even noticed some people playing, even on a quick song, as you get to the end of the song and you want to dial the tune down, someone might play sustain the last note a little bit and play vibrato on it. But as you practice it, just go to town. Figure it out everywhere, anywhere. Don't throw it in a fast song, but experiment with some of the slow airs. Again, that's it. It's really not that difficult. It's a skill we need to use appropriately, though, as we talked about. It's another ornament in our ornament toolkit. Send me an email or comment on this video and let me know how it's going for you. Let me know how vibrato's going. What questions do you have? What did you find to do that was fun? What tunes are you using vibrato with? I'd really love to know that one. Another ornament in our toolkit. Until next time, this is Scott Shade. Happy low D whistling.